For more than a century, Hollywood movie magic has been the driving force in modern-day storytelling, with its unique ability to make us believe the unbelievable, captivating the imaginations of audiences around the world. As a child, Calder Greenwood was fascinated by the movies he saw on TV, and that attraction would ultimately lead to a career as a Hollywood digital effects artist. But it wasn't until he stepped out of the digital world did he discover his unique ability to create that same magic within the real world, developing an arsenal of techniques to further his wizardry. Playing with our perception, Calder taps into how our brain fuses what we see and what we imagine, adding a welcome dose of wonder and discovery to the world we live in.
So I'm from New York, upstate. My dad is a retired art teacher. I didn't go to the school that my dad taught at, and he never taught me art and art history per se, but I certainly learned a lot from him growing up in a way that I didn't kind of realize then, but now that I'm older, it makes sense. My dad's an art teacher. Of course I'm doing stuff like this, you know. I think I really fell in love with movies around the age of 11 when Terminator 2 came out. So I really got into understanding what is CG, computer graphics. And I remember in 6th grade, I think, I did a presentation in school and we could do anything. So I said, how about the history of special effects? And I talked for over an hour giving that presentation because I was just so into it, to the point where the next class arrived and the teacher didn't stop me. She was like, the rest of you come in, stand in the back, you know, watch this. And I got an A++, I think, on that presentation because it was just the pure passion of, I love this is why, let me tell you about it. So when I first got to LA, I was living in Santa Monica near the New Wilshire Theater, and that was my first job. I was, you know, serving popcorn and tickets. And my friend, who was a college roommate, had been out here 2 or 3 years prior. He had gotten into editing and was working on reality shows and whatnot. And he met someone that was doing National Geographic shows, and they needed effects for their new show about Roswell and the aliens. So I jumped on and did that was all CG at the time because I wasn't doing anything practical. So I was doing the CG spaceships and compositing, and it was actually during that process I realized, wait, art department's having way more fun. Like, look what they're doing, look what they're building. You can walk through it, and I was kind of designing things with them, but found that as opposed to being upstairs in the production office, I was having more fun on set, building and crafting and painting and kind of getting my hands dirty. I had made enough money and set it aside that I moved down here, had more space, and just started building. But an offshoot of that was also building stuff that I would put out on the street as street art. And our very first installation was in an empty lot. We didn't know the history of the lot or why it was empty, but we put in this family of sunbathers with a beach towel and a cooler, and it was all fenced in, so people could only see it from a distance. And they thought that it was real people, so it kind of picked up this momentum of the LA Times realized what was happening, and they got pictures, and it was this kind of sudden, unexpected little viral hit of like, oh wow, people are really responding to the special feeling of seeing this stuff in person. Again, a practical thing that's tangible, that you don't expect, and here it is right in front of you. What's neat about right now is that we're seeing both ends of the spectrum, with something totally raw and rough being charming, and something totally polished and professional being boring. So what I'm trying to do is get in the middle of, like, we'll push the envelope with production design and production value and make things feel big and rich, but leave them a little janky. And if anything, what stands out these days is what's original. If you do what you think is cool in your own way, chances are it's going to be way more special than you do it the right way.